It's Thursday night, and you know what that means, Ben. The boys from We Talking About Sports are live. It's me and Ben tonight. Roland and Ron went ahead and hit last night. Check out that pod if you have a chance. They went about 30 minutes and talked like some good stuff. NBA, Jerry Jones, and the Western Conference Finals as well. So go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. Ben, what's up, boy?
Not much, bro. Couldn't be on yesterday. Happy to be on today. Little pick and roll with me and you. We got, I guess, a couple of subjects here up on the main screen. Not going to take too long today. We got the Eastern Conference Game 2 semifinals about to tip off here in Boston. Just glad to be here, just. We got Friday tomorrow, and then we got the weekend. No UFC this weekend, but still the weekend, baby.
Yeah, man, that big UFC card's coming up June 1st. You got Dustin Poirier making his last shot at the lightweight title, man. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. You said Champions League's going down that night, that same weekend as well, right?
Saturday is supposed to be Real Madrid against Dartmouth with the Champions League final. It'll be the last soccer game of I guess club soccer. So
Yeah.
EPL just came to an end. The Bundesliga, all the leagues are coming to an end. So that Champions League match next Saturday should be the last soccer game. Looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, man, let's get into it today. We're going to go with Who Shot You, the first pick in the Western Finals Game 1. We'll start with Tank Dell and Houston, Ben. This is good news on y'all side. You being a Houston fan, we're getting to see Tank Dell shot 3 weeks ago in the leg, had an altercation at a private event, Ben, but he's back practicing today. He's got 7-on-7s, and he practiced 11-on-11 as well for a little bit. A lot of it was individual practice, but I mean, are you happy to see the kid back and healed?
Probably not the first time he's been shot. That's a pretty quick recovery. I know it was only a leg shot, you know what I mean? But God, I mean that's pretty fast. He's back on the field. I guess it's been maybe a month. It
It's
seems
three
like
weeks.
3 weeks since that news broke. So he's either a superhuman, it's happened before, or he just, as soon as it happened, poured the henny over it to sterilize. And, they say everybody's got their remedy, right? But glad this is nothing but good news, bro. So Tank Dell, obviously going to be option number 3 for the Texans this year out of the slot, with Nico and Stephon Diggs. Was him and CJ, you saw the connection last year, just it sounds like he's going to be a full go, when the season starts, if he's already on the field right now. But I mean, like you said, at a private event, so not even a place where you would expect this to happen. You can't fault the kid saying, he was hanging out at the wrong spots, whatever it may be. It's kind of just wrong place, wrong time. Thankfully, it was minor, and he's back on the field already.
Yeah, you mentioned him being the third slot, and it seems like the way that him and CJ, just hit it off. I know they got Diggs in, and they have the other guy. Man, it's hard to think of him as the third option. He seems like he's 1 or 2 on that offense.
Yeah,
CJ loves his slot guys.
the chemistry definitely is there, but I mean, Nico Collins was the number 1 last year. Tank 1A, 1B. I mean, you really couldn't miss. If you played fantasy football, Tank Dell was, man, he had a shot. I don't know. Obviously, he wasn't going to win Rookie of the Year over CJ Stroud, but the numbers that he was putting up, he was going crazy.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it again this year, but I don't expect him to be as rowdy as last year. Like you said, they added another receiver. You still got Nico. He's the smaller guy. Probably won't get too many touchdowns, but still, somebody that you're going to throw out there, I think weekly, just based off the firepower of that offense.
I just want to know if the leg that he got shot on was it the same leg that he got rolled up on, and are y'all gonna stop having him
Right.
block on the inside? Come on, man,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
hopefully they learn from that. He has no size to be blocking inside like that. So hopefully they learned and they don't put him in that situation again. Stephon Diggs, a veteran, pretty good at those little crackback blocks, and then Nico Collins is, a big body receiver. So
Yep.
let's not use Tank Dell for things like that. Run out of 2 tight end set. Do something, you know, keep the little guy out. Keep the little guy on the sidelines when we're inside the 5-yard line, I would say.
A little shout out to Alan here. He said Tank Dell on his 50 Cent vibes, and we'd have to agree. Ben, let's get to the next one, man. And this one blows my mind. I don't know if it's going to blow your mind, but we're talking about Bronny James. 30% of the market bets on him being the first taken player overall. If you would have told me 2 years ago, you would have told me last year after his college season, I would have said you're crazy. But it seems like people believe that the sweepstakes for LeBron is here and now. And if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you maybe trade away the number one pick to someone who's that desperate and gives you, King's ransom for it. I mean, 30% of the voters of betters think Bronny has the potential to be number one. What's going on?
That's got to be the public. I mean, that's as good as flushing your money down the toilet. Facts. Like there's just no way in hell. I mean, the Hawks probably aren't trading that pick because they weren't even supposed to be there. So now, you're thinking about trading away your franchise player in Trey Young, another 25, 26-year-old. You probably want to get another young, even though this draft is not, as heavy as the usual drafts, it's considered a weaker draft. If you land the number one pick, you usually just want to take your pick of the litter, right? It's in basketball, it's not too common. You see the number one pick get traded. And even if you just look at the recent run of number one picks, I mean, it's been a pretty damn good run. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Ant, Paulo, the list goes on.
Wemby.
It's right. It's been a really good run. So I think this is smoke. This is. I know LeBron's been posting the I guess he had his not pro day, but he worked out for the Lakers, outside of the combine when they showed him making like 12 threes in a row in the movement drill. Here, LeBron posted, everybody's in there. LeBron's in there. AD's in there. Killer Cam is in there. And Bronny got hot from the 3-point line. You know what I mean? Made a couple
Yeah.
shots. I think that this is a whole bunch of smoke, bro. I mean, it's the best smoke. Obviously it's LeBron's attached to it, but nobody's trading the number one pick, like that. And this kid is not going number one. I mean, he probably shouldn't even be in the draft. There's people saying, how they have those anonymous GMs that come out with these random quotes after the combine, and they're saying, that he's a guy that really doesn't even get drafted. But if you're buying into what comes with it, that LeBron's just gonna up and leave to go wherever Bronny gets drafted, I guess, man. But that's some sort of fairy tale ending. That's a big time Hollywood producer writing that one. I know LeBron says it, you know what I mean, but for it to actually happen, I think it's a long shot. So betting your money on him to go number one, I mean, we know how big of a homer our boy Ron is. He's here in the comments, but not even Ron's putting anything on Bronny to go number one. You know what I mean? Get out of here.
Yeah. I want to bring up something Jerry said. He said that he loves the Hawks. They were dumb enough to give us Luka. Ben, the Hawks are pretty dumb. And this draft is not the best draft, like you mentioned. It feels like the Anthony Bennett type of drafts where Alexander Sarr is the other projected number one overall pick.
Yeah.
And no one knows who that guy is. No one knows what he really is about. He doesn't have the hype Wemby has on him. He's not that kind of player. Man, do you just find a way to trade this pick if you're the Hawks, though? Just try to move off of it?
Yeah, maybe if somebody's willing to give up, next year's first rounder, but you got to hope that it's a team that you expect to be in the lottery again next year. You know what I mean? Because you don't just want to go and trade your pick to me. And I don't think that any type of playoff team is going to be trading up to number one either. So, what is you're like the desire is trade to number one and get Bronny so LeBron comes? Like teams better have that shit written in paper, bro, because that shit, it sounds ridiculous. That's asinine, to quote Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't see it happening. I don't think LeBron would do that to the Lakers franchise, but he's always said he's wanted to play with his son, but
it would be like drafting LeBron number one. It would be the biggest collusion shit.
It would be super insider trading.
There's no way, bro. He would go to jail. Him and Bronny. Fuck it. Bury him.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, I mean, something's up if that happens. Let's get over to the Western Conference Finals, and we'll talk also the Eastern Conference game tonight. Western Conference Finals last night. What a game. Wolves were up for quite a bit, but Kyrie and Luka finished that game off. Luka had 33 points last night. Kyrie had a 30-piece himself, Ben. What'd you make of that Western Conference Final game one? Are we in for one hell of a series, or are we going to just play a little ping pong and it's not going to be a lot? How do you see the series going?
I mean, I'm Dallas. I'm the Dallas Mavericks #1 hater. You know what I mean? I've been wrong the last 2 rounds. I'm gonna keep picking against them. Just I don't give a fuck. Can't have. Listen, I told some people like, bro, I just got rid of Steph Curry. Like, my agenda
Yeah.
against Steph, it's over. It's officially over. The dynasty's done. And now here comes this booger boy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This European booger eater that now, I mean, this Mavs team, I hate to compare it to, that Chris Paul and James Harden and them saying it's not going to work. Two guys that need the ball. Luca and Kyrie are proving all the doubters, wrong. And they're playing defense, bro. Kyrie is really, really locking down on defense. Got to give the Mavs credit. At this point, I mean, it would just be blatant hate. We're not going to do that on this show. Still rooting against them. But, they made their trades. They kind of formed this team to the vision that they had and what Luca wanted. We saw him saying, hey, this guy, he ain't going to fit here. Get him out of here. Boom, right away, gone. They bring in somebody else. Head coach, hey, Carlisle, I don't like him. Bring in Jason Kidd. Another point guard sees the floor really well right away. So Mark Cuban is at Luca's feet saying whatever you want, whatever you need, and it's starting to pay off. They've been active. They've been making moves. It's still Kyrie and Luca having to do it in the fourth quarter. Yesterday in the fourth, Luca, very efficient, kind of took over. Hate to see it. Fucking hate to see it. But it happened. Game one, feeling out process. You got to think the Timberwolves got to stop doing that drop coverage and giving up that lob. Something's got to give there. Something's got to fix. And Edwards was asking for, the Kyrie matchup coming into the series. You go out and get cooked for 30. And he looked gassed at the end of the game. He was having to do a lot of running around with Kyrie. It's going to work you on both ends. I don't see that being sustainable all series. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels has to be a little bit better, here going forward with Luca. But the Mavs are getting it done. The bigs are taking turns. Gafford's in there. PJ Washington's in there. The Lively doing really well with the lobs, the defense. So the Mavs are onto something. Fucking anybody but the Mavs, bro. But right now, I mean, it does look like, they stole home court already. Game one is a feeling out process, but they have officially stolen home court, and it's theirs to lose technically now.
Yeah, and I had the Mavs getting to this point. I just didn't have them in the finals. I chose the Nuggets to repeat. I had Mavs and Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. But what I'm seeing by them stealing home court, that's like a little bit of a red flag for me, because we saw the Timberwolves. How many games did they win at home the last series?
All of them? No. Oh no, they lost 2.
Yeah,
they lost 2.
Or is there 3 that they lost at home? Because it was a 4-game 4-3, and they had the home court, so they lost 3 at home. They only won 1, game 7.
Oh, was game 6 was in Denver? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So you're seeing the number 1 seed not be able to contend home court advantage. That's a big red flag to me.
Yeah.
I think the Mavs are going to get through here,
but they can win on the road. So I mean, obviously teams are going to be different, right? But they went to Denver. It's the defending champs. We know the Denver Nuggets are the biggest show in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of college atmosphere like in that arena. They went in there and they won 4 games.
Yeah.
3 games in Denver.
Yep. We'll see what happens when they get back to Dallas. But I mean, way to hold serve and win one, take it away from them, so good on the Mavs. We got Mark in here saying there's nothing the big man can do to stop the drop, and Luca and Kai hits mid-range floaters. Mark says Mavs on their way, saying not 1, not 2, not 3. When I say it, I mean it. He's big on the Mavs, man. All right. And Ron is saying, Mark, espérate. Let's not overreact. Wolves went into Denver and won game 7. And, that's going to bring us into the Denver topic that I have for you today, Ben. We're going to talk about some parity in the league. Denver's out now, right? So we're not going to have a repeat champion. And this is, do you think this is going to be the new norm, that we're going to have new winners every year in the league? Are the dynasties over?
I don't
Now,
know.
dynasties have happened a lot in the NBA. In the MLB, it's only happened in the last 20 years one time, or last 20 some years. The Yankees, when they won in 98 and 2000, the Patriots, when they won 2000, 2004, it happened 2003 and 2004. And then recently they had the Kansas City. But the NBA, we've seen it with the Bulls in 96 and 98, Lakers 2000 and 2002, Lakers 2009 and 2010, the Heat and Golden State most recently. Now we're getting a new champion. Is this going to be the new way? We're going to start seeing parity in the league? Or is what Mark's saying, the dynasty now is here and it's Luka?
No, I think if anybody, the West is just a gauntlet. It's tough. I mean, we saw how easy the Celtics had it, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then at home, they're favored by 9 points, and they. I think the Celtics, albeit I don't believe that they are a dynasty, I think they have the best chance just
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of easiest road to the finals, and then once you're in the finals, I mean, you just got to win it. It's kind of how like LeBron lived in the finals because he was just running through the East.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the Celtics are way above every other team in the East, barring some sort of blockbuster trade and then pairing somebody up with, somebody crazy. Embiid, Maxey, they had Harden. Now they lost Harden until they get rid of Tobias Harris and are able, to kind of fix that team around Embiid. Who's going to be giving the Celtics team, competition? So for the fact that I think they're way better than everybody in the East, I think the Celtics do have a chance. If they win their first one this year, I definitely think that they have a chance of going back to back.
Do you think that possibly the Celtics, though, can just be victims like the 49ers are, where they get to this championship games, they get to the title games, the conference championship, and they don't have any titles to show for it, though? I
They
mean, can the West just
100%.
keep on beating on them?
100% they can fall victim to that because you see it. I mean, you see them lose the lead even in game one. They're just mentally not the toughest. People have been saying Jason Tatum has next for several years now. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen a championship. We haven't seen an MVP trophy for him. So it's the Celtics. They're vulnerable. 100%. They're vulnerable. They give it up like we see in this series. Everybody's been talking. It's going to be an over series. They can play defense when they want to, but for the most part, they're kind of just okay in shootouts. And when you're doing that, that's when you get in trouble. And then you still got the Porzingis thing, so it's just a very weak East this year, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt, maybe whoever comes out of the West could be favored against the Celtics if Porzingis is still out. But it's just how much of an advantage they have on the rest of the East for me.
Yeah. Well, just talk about tonight's game a little bit. We got the Celtics and the Pacers. I think it's tied 9-9 right now. How do you see this particular game going tonight? And it seems like you're pretty high on the Celtics, at least getting out of the East, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Indy is, they got lucky with Milwaukee, and even though I wanted them to beat Milwaukee, they didn't see Giannis once in that series. Definitely overachieved this year. I don't think anybody expected Indiana, although they went to the bubble finals
Yeah.
or the in-season tournament.
In-season tournament. Yeah, they played the Lakers and lost.
Right here, they find themselves in the Eastern Conference Championship. So this is already a great season for the Indiana Pacers. Based off what they were coming off last year's. I mean, I do think that this is where it ends. I hope to be wrong because I wouldn't mind seeing, Indiana. I have an agenda with Halliburton and Anthony Edwards, and I'm on the Halliburton side, so I wouldn't
Same.
mind him getting to the finals.
I'm on the
quick.
anybody but Boston side, but y'all know that. I mean,
Yeah, we know that.
I mean, the shirt says Lakers for a reason. I mean, it is what it is.
So I wouldn't mind the Pacers. I don't want to play both sides of the fence because I do think that Boston does take care of them, but I definitely wouldn't mind seeing the Pacers in the championship.
All right. Well, Ben, we're almost done here.
Imagine the Pacers and the Mavs, and it's Rick Carlisle up against his old
Jason
team.
Kidd, his old squad. I mean, that's
That would be
crazy.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that a lot. I'm not sure how much you would like that because you have to live through the Mavs more than likely winning that series, and you're gonna have to live with Luka and the guys who love Luka making their championship rounds on you.
Man, I know too many Mavs fans, bro, and here they are in the comment section. I know Jerry's been through and through. Beach and Mark, I didn't know Mark was like that for the Mavs, but seems
Well,
like Mavs fans are coming out the
it seems
woodwork.
it seems like Mark is Rangers, Mavs, and he was a Cowboys fan, so he definitely likes Dallas teams. Uh, Mark Chopper, who's your new football team if it's not Dallas anymore? Watch Rich
Oh, Mark
Carlisle win two
disowned
championships
Mark
with the two
disowned them or
teams.
what?
I think he did. He told us in the chat he wasn't going to watch any more games. He's tired of Jerry.
Yeah,
Yep,
Mark.
there it is. Jerry said he's ready to have victory laps all day. He can't wait. Hey Jerry, I'll give it to you. You called it pre playoffs. You were high on your team, so I know you said you had a ticket, so that's good. Ben, let's play a little game. NFL season's a little bit over 100 days away, so I wanted to play a game a week until we get to the season, and it's a game of superlatives. You've seen the Jimmy Fallon late night show where he talks about a sentence. He gives out a sentence. You got to figure out what he's talking about, right?
Okay.
So the category is NFC East, and the superlative is the team most likely to ignore what their owner is saying. Who fits this category? What team would you say is the most likely to ignore what their owner is saying?
And
you got 4 teams to choose from. This would be the Giants, right, Eagles, Commanders, and Cowboys. Who do you think fits the most? What are we talking
about, like as far as like personnel or coaching or
just whatever their owner's saying? You think this team just ignore them, ignore whatever that owner's talking about?
Automatically, we got to eliminate the Cowboys because it's a damn dictatorship, in Dallas with Jerry.
Do we got to eliminate them because you want to ignore that dictatorship if you're that team?
But if you're this coach and it's your contract year, you're not ignoring anything. You're kissing as much ass as you can if you're Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
And that eliminates the Cowboys for me.
Okay.
The Commanders, brand new coach, brand new ownership, eliminates that. You got to think that they want to start a good relationship, work well with each other. This is process of elimination. This is pretty easy here. Then you got the Eagles and you got the Giants, right? It's tough in this division. I think most of the teams are pretty disciplined as far as, chain of command. But I'd have to say it's the Giants with a little bit of heat. Maybe they say stick with Daniel Jones a little bit longer. And the coach says, hey, I'm cutting the cord on Daniel Jones. Like, we need to move on. We're going to move on after this season regardless. The Eagles, we see them, they're destined, they're trying to get over the hill and get that chip. So they just went out and got Saquon Barkley. I mean, they seem to be a well-oiled machine as far as, everybody being on the same page. So I got to go with the Giants, even though I don't believe it because, the head coach, pretty stand-up guy, but that scenario of, maybe them saying, let's stick with Daniel Jones a little bit longer and then wanting to pull the cord, I got to go with the Giants here.
All right, man. I'm sorry to say it, but I gave it to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the team most likely to ignore what the owner is saying, just based on the fact that we've heard it time and time again. Jerry Jones is all in, and he has shown us nothing of all-in behavior. He hasn't made a splash in free agency. He hasn't made a trade that's worth the damn. So the Cowboys, to me, are the team that should ignore whatever their owner is saying. Let's go to the next one. The next one's going to be obvious. The next one's going to be a little obvious for you. It's the team most likely to bench its starting quarterback by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's easily the Giants. The Commanders are coming with the rookie number 2 overall pick. There's no way that they, drop the kid's confidence and just straight bench him. We know Jalen Hurts ain't getting benched. And as much as we scream at the TV that Dak shouldn't be the starting quarterback for the Cowboys, they're going to keep throwing him out there. So easy answer is the Giants.
Great one. Yeah, I chose the Giants. The only thing that is, holding me back on this one, Ben, is just that they didn't draft his replacement yet. But other than that, you can totally see Daniel Jones. He threw more interceptions last season than he had previously all seasons combined. That for me is trajectory down, and they paid him big time. So
the Giants didn't draft any quarterback this year.
They didn't draft his replacement.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, that was good. Actually, Noe Zepeda also got it right. He chose the Giants. Let's see if Noe can get the next one, and the next one is the team with the most unlikely free agent signing, and you got two choices left. It's the Commanders or the Eagles. Who is the team with the most unlikely free agent signing?
I'm going to give it to somebody who already signed a free agent, and it was very unlikely because we didn't see it. So I think that Saquon Barkley being signed, by the Eagles, I don't think anybody really saw them, with the roster they have and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, a lot of guys they have to pay. So to go out there and sign, Saquon Barkley also tells you that they're liable to go out there and go after anybody who they think is going to take them over the hump. So I do think that it's going to be the Eagles.
Agreed. And today, they got a lot of money tied up on their contracts. You got the quarterback paid, you got the two wide receivers paid, you just paid Saquon. Your offensive line is kind of in shambles because you had Kelsey retire. They just paid today John Ross. Do you remember that name? The wide receiver, the speedy guy. They just paid him today. An unlikely free agent. So this matches them
That's got to be
a T.
Just kick return. He's got to be a kick return guy.
Yeah.
Because, he's got to be a kick returner, punt returner. What? John Ross still in the league. I guess speed keeps you in the league.
Yeah. Noe's 3 for 3 on these teams, so he's always going to get the last one right. That's pretty cool, Noe. And this one is the team least likely to make any headlines in the NFC East. And I'm sure you know who it is by now because we've eliminated 3 of them. Ben, it is the Commanders. New owners, man. They're not, they're tired of the Dan Snyders. They're not going to be doing anything crazy. This new ownership under Magic Johnson and his corporate group, they don't want no splashy headlines. They don't want no trouble after what, just came out of those emails and everything that happened last year, Ben.
What if Magic has them in the headlines, bro? What if he catches it again? I mean, we never know, bro.
Are you saying he's cured?
Huh?
Are you saying that he's cured and he might get it again?
He's still alive, dog, so he must be cured. But, I mean, I like it. The only reason I would say New York as well, but it's New York. It's
give us a reason for New York. That's fine.
Yeah, because I didn't know that we couldn't have repeat ones. So obviously we know the Cowboys are going to be in the headlines. We know the Eagles is one of the top teams in the NFC are going to be in the headlines. So that leaves, the two redheaded stepchildren, the Commanders and the Giants. But New York is New York. You know what I mean? No matter what's happening, if they're failing, they're just going to be in the headlines because of how much of a failure New York football is. You're going to have the Manning cast and Eli kind of keeping them relevant. Always trying to, talk about the Giants any chance he gets on there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it does have to be the Commanders. Although, with a rookie quarterback, if he's up there for Rookie of the Year, he's going to be making headlines. I mean, I don't expect, a jump like the Texans right away with their rookie quarterback just because of how tough the division is. But, I mean, if he has a Stroud-like season, Cam Newton-like rookie season, you definitely could see, Daniels in the headlines, therefore putting the Commanders in the headlines. But that's the only shot they got at headlines.
I agree, and he is the Heisman winner, so you never know. He has the ability to do it, but I just don't think he has the team around him the way that Houston set up CJ, by getting Tank Dell, by getting Nico.
They kept Terry. I mean, they have that Gibson guy. They have
what tight end do they have?
In Robinson, the tight end is the former quarterback for Virginia Tech, Logan Thomas.
That's not Kincaid or that whoever y'all got. You know what I mean? It's just not the same.
No, they have the old Cowboys tight end, the Texans.
That's what I'm saying. He's not that level.
Kincaid. Well, who's the guy? Who's the
Ferguson? Not Ferguson. Are you sure it's not Kincaid?
No, Kincaid is with the Bills, Justin. That's when they drafted.
I gotta keep up with 2 of your teams, man. Let me see. Tight end for the Texans is Schultz. It's Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz, bro.
Yeah. So there's levels to it. I think that's the reason. But yeah, hey, Noe, 4 for 4 on this little game. Shout out to Noe Zepeda. He got all 4 right. And we'll play this game again next week. I'll give out more superlatives. And we'll have Ben guess the team. Next week will be the NFC North, I think. Or maybe we'll do the AFC South, Ben. I know that's your league, so.
Yeah, maybe next week Ron can join us live and not just in the comment section. You know what I mean? So that would be nice.
It would have been nice to have Ron and Roland. I mean, those are our guys, But yeah, they
no shots
down yesterday. No shots.
They got down yesterday. No shots at Roland, but some shots at Ron. Fuck it. Couple shots.
Just a little spray. Just a little spray to that. But yeah, boys, that's it for us tonight. It was a quick and short show. We appreciate everybody who was in the comments. We had Steven from NRG, we had Jerry, we had Mark, we had Noe, we had Ron, we had Edgy. Everybody that showed up, Eddie showed up as well. Thanks for everybody. We'll probably be on next week again. Thursdays, it seems like we've been hitting it, but if we can get on before that, we will.
I
Yeah, we
gotta
will.
talk to y'all about Thursdays, bro. I just committed. Got the phone call.
Oh,
Can't say I've been waiting for this phone call. Got the phone call. Co-ed softball league.
oh, okay. Thursday nights.
Yeah, I'm back off the pine. I'm about to get active here. San Antonio, gonna have to drive to San Antonio on Thursday nights for some co-ed softball, but
Okay.
back in that, getting those competitive juices flowing outside of the Xbox here. Gonna go play some softball and try not to make a fool out of myself.
Try
Probably
not to
post
pull a
up on
hammy
first
running the
base.
first.
Yeah, yeah, definitely gonna jog. Because I'm not the type to stretch before games and shit like that, or
Yeah.
even before going for a jog. But yeah, co-ed softball, bro. I wish it was kickball. Might have been a little bit easier,
Now
but
in this league, Ben, are they going to make you all bat left-handed? Because I did co-ed
correct.
before, and they
Yeah,
would make us bat left-handed.
yeah. I
All right,
used
man.
to. The only way I've played softball actually is co-ed. So I mean, I enjoy it. Pretty cool, and it's not like when it's just all guys, as soft as this sounds, but when you're not a baseball player and it's spearly, it's underhand, bro. So they're hitting missiles. Some of these guys that, play softball, play baseball. So the co-ed thing is a good entry level back in.
I agree. All right, man. Well, that's it for us. We're gonna have to figure out a new day. Ben just broke this on me. I'm all freaking out now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Nah, just kidding. We'll figure it out.
I
We'll
don't I
be.
don't live in the valley, Jerry. I'm not driving to San Antonio from the valley. I live up here in New Braunfels. So it'll
Oh,
be
he
like a
thought you
20.
were.
I don't know where he thinks I'm driving from, but it's going to be about a 25-minute drive to the games. Not too crazy.
Yeah, that dog. I mean, he wouldn't drive from the Valley to San Antonio. That'd be too much.
I'm not sure if Jerry knew where I live. That's why.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it for us. We'll be back next week, and maybe Jerry can get another victory lap in on you. If his Mavs do it again Friday night, man, if they do it again Friday night, it might be a wrap. 2-0, winning two
Nah.
away. That might be a wrap.
It might, but I mean, we thought the same thing for the Denver Nuggets, and we did call it a wrap. They ended up losing, but they forced a game 7 at home. So, they've shown they can win on the road. Fully, you got to expect Minnie to come out and win tomorrow, right?
You
And
have to,
even it up going back.
but I'm not, holding my breath for it. The way I saw Ant-Man gassed in the third quarter, like that didn't look good at all.
It didn't look good. But you
He,
think
he
they
might
got
be in
him.
a little bit over his head, and Luca might not have all the playoff experience, but Kyrie's got a chip, and that means something. I don't
Facts.
see anybody on a chip on the Wolves, so championship pedigree is a little different.
We got to get Rudy Gobert a chip, man. Fuck.
You think he deserves it?
He deserves it, bro.
Highest paid player left.
Hey, and all those defensive players of the year. I mean, and just the whole COVID shit, and he gets shitted on by everybody. Like once he's a
COVID.
champ, nobody can tell him
COVID.
shit. Like, let's give him that.
Are you okay with Sunday afternoon games? You mean like Sunday NBA games? Yes, of course.
Oh yeah, love Sunday, like 2 o'clock, perfect, right after brunch.
Oh yeah,
Little
especially
Sunday
that
fun
lets you
day.
get brunch in right before, like lead into the game. That's exactly how you want a Sunday to go. Kyrie
Yeah,
said he's been here before. He knows what he has to do. Yeah, he does. You want LeBron that chip in Cleveland, knock down that three. He's got that Kobe in him.
yeah. Well, let's get
Hell,
out of
now we
here. It's
play.
a 3-point game here. Indy's up late first quarter. Gonna tune into the rest of this one.
All right. Thank you, boys, for tuning in with us. We'll see you next week, sometime before Thursday. Peace.